this is Ree here. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate everyone. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. It really helps me a lot. And don't forget to check out my website, paradxastrology.com. I am a professional astrologer. I can help you with anything. And if you like occult videos and would like to support this channel, please consider subscribing to my Patreon. I make exclusive videos that I don't put on YouTube. And thank you to all my Patreons. I really appreciate you guys being the first there. This video is because of you guys. Okay, let's get into this video. I'm going to talk about a major aspect that will be happening, and it's a Guru Chandal Yoga aspected by Saturn. On April 5th, Jupiter and Rahu will be 15 degrees apart, and that's what's going to trigger this. Whenever Jupiter is within this amount of degrees of Rahu, Rahu starts taking the significance out of Jupiter and starts creating what it wants, basically. And Jupiter is not in a favorable condition. And I made some videos about that, and you can check it out. I won't go into more detail because I already did it in my April video and my Jupiter combust video, but I'll explain it a little bit. So because we have Jupiter combust, right now it's very close to the sun, and then now we have Jupiter is going to be aspecting Rahu. And we also have the eclipse that will be happening on April 20th, and that will trigger this. So this could actually, on the positive, this could hit new heights for some people because it's in Ashwini. It'll start in Ashwini. Well, Rahu's in Ashwini and Jupiter will be in Ravati, but on April 22nd, it'll go into Ashwini, which is a new beginning. So some could hit a height of a new beginning, and they could actually end up creating things that they have never created before, that they actually thought were impossible. This would very well happen if you have a well-placed Saturn and Rahu, because Saturn is actually aspecting Rahu. When we have Rahu and Ashwini, we have Ketu and Shawtee. Ashwini is a Ketu ruled nakshatra. Shawtee is a Rahu ruled nakshatra. So we kind of have the opposite and contradictory things happening with Ketu and Shawtee, which is the businessman, and we have Ketu, which can be loss of business. We can also see criminal businesses. We could see a cutting off of certain businesses, and Ashwini is about new beginnings. It's about transportation. It's about health. There are some people during this time that we could see, because people will be lacking the wisdom and the knowledge of Jupiter, which was being suppressed at this moment. There could be those who are wanting to take over the medical community without thinking of the population and wanting to change it and wanting to have a new beginning for their own measure, their own profit, their own obsessive compulsive thoughts, and their materialistic gains, their own ego. People will use this as an opportunity to scam others in business. Also, Jupiter is finance, so a lot of businesses are going to lose money during this time. This will be a huge crash in finance. With having Mars where it's at right now, and I'm seeing what is done, it's in Ardhara right now. It's going to go in Purnavasu, which is a Jupiter ruled nakshatra at the end of April, and this is going to cause more problems to Jupiter. There could be acts of violence and aggression due to this financial change, this new beginning of finance. Like I said in a lot of videos, this could actually be getting rid of paper money. This could be some kind of new technology that could track people digitally because of health. Ashwini is also the businessman as well, so new businesses, new technology will be on the rise. But having this aspect is karmic, because Saturn is limitation, Saturn is constrictive and its boundaries, and then Jupiter is very expansive, it's extravagance, it's generosity. So we're having this push and this pull of contradiction and expansion. So some things could be expanded, some things will be contracted during this time, but people will use this because it's a state of confusion for the world as an opportunity to get ahead. It will be there until May 1st. Aries being the personal self, it's being the status in society, the ego, and it's the head. But that's why it can be very impulsive and doing things without thinking ahead and just doing it out of impulse, which is why Ashwini or Aries can make a lot of mistakes and have to redo them. So we'll notice things that will have to be redone because of our lack of knowledge. Material gains, yes, you can hit a high of material gains, especially when the Mars comes into play as well. That could give you the courage to actually hit these heights that you never thought possible as well. So that could actually help a lot of people. But be careful if once you hit these heights that you actually had the knowledge to know that if this was good or not. Because after May 1st, you may have to reevaluate that. Jupiter is in Revati right now, and being in Revati is nurturing. It's very nurturing. It's nurturing the soul, and it's about the person who was nurtured is able to nurture others. But because we have this aspect of Saturn and Rahu, which is creating something that's called a Papkatari Yoga, which cuts off anything in between these two malefic planets, the energy of it. So if you feel that you haven't been nurtured or you're not nurturing yourself, make sure you take time to do that now before April 22nd, because things are going to get very busy. People will try to nourish themselves in unhealthy ways during this time. They will try with drugs, alcohol. There could be an increase in overdoses, an increase in taking too many prescriptions, anything to do with drugs. So you should be very careful this time because of the lack of wisdom that we have with Jupiter happening. This could cause people to go towards substances and chemicals and alcohol. Also, things that children could be acting different. They could be acting weird. They could be acting more out of ego, maybe hormones, things like that. Also, animals could be acting weird at this time. Specifically, cats could be acting weird. Also, Jupiter being in Revati is the shepherd as well. I think people should be careful who are farmers. The farmers should be careful of this, that there aren't new regulations or some kind of chemicals on their land that could destroy crops or something like that, because Saturn also has to do with agriculture. There could also be people being very confused. There could be some aggressive or spontaneous things that happen. So things are a little bit up and down. With Jupiter, this has to do with financial institutions, advertising agencies, any religious services, spiritual practices. There could be a lot of con men that come at this time that have to do with religion and spirituality as well. So we have to be very cautious of that. Once it goes into Ashwini on the 22nd, that's more about metaphysics. It's about healing. It's about physicians. And it's about transportation. So that's when we'll find the problems with that. Until then, in Revati, it is about those who care for children, who care for many children. There could be a problem with those who care for children. Maybe be careful that these people are of integrity who watch your children and things like that. So there could be huge financial crash and gold, problems with gold going up and down. Teachers, maybe teacher strikes. There could be strikes with universities, higher education, problems with places overseas or foreign places, maybe anything to do with getting things from foreign places. That could be a problem as well. And also there could be inflation. The prices of things as it enters Aries, there could be a price hike where things hit, because things will hit a new high, and that could be for better or worse as well. Like when it hits a new high, you know, someone's profiting, so that's great for them, but it's not great for the person buying, right? So it all depends on the perspective as well. So there could be a lot of health matters because of Rahu and Ashwini, which has to do with health, and then Saturn is in Shavahista, which has to do with business, but it also has to do 100 physicians or 100 healers. So it could actually bring out some things that were hidden about the health industry as well. So that's just my short video about that. And I really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one.